get on to our big question. So the burning question that has been emerging as the top one in the list is really why, and this is especially, I think, applies, we always hear this about hard to recycle plastics. Why don't we just burn it and not worry about recycling it? Jermaine, you want to field that one?
Well, I feel that plastics is a resource. They can be reused, they can be redesigned, and I believe that burning plastics is losing a resource. It's basically taking product and just eliminating it. Right. So we have to develop the processes to avoid that waste. I call this a waste of a resource, and I think that we have to find ways to be able to regenerate the plastics and use them again.
Excellent. Toby?
I thought the burning question would be, what do we do about beer, actually? After Mike's presentation. That's really later. Shook me. But seriously, when it comes to incinerating plastic waste, the answer for me is very simple. It should not be done. You've got, with all the chemicals that we have in the world, 70% of chemicals go towards making plastics. But 90% of volatile chemicals are used in making plastics as well. There was a study done, women who worked in an automotive factory had a 5 times higher than average propensity to develop breast cancer. So if you burn plastic, these plastics are just putting these chemicals in the atmosphere. You're taking them from having them in a technical nutrient cycle that you can control to saying out you go into the ecosphere, and that's going to come back and have a negative effect on all life on this planet.
Excellent. Mike, last word on waste energy for plastics.
I get asked this everywhere I go because it is a hot topic, pardon the pun. And first I would just add to, by the way, second life plastics and third life have less volatiles in them because we take them out through the additional heat processing. Okay.
Go recycling.
I won't be quite as strong as these guys because actually I agree with their statements, but it has a place. And let me explain that. We have, I think, some of the most advanced technology in the world at our plants, and we still can't recycle every bit of the plastic that comes in our back, or the wood, or the rubber, or the foam, or the textiles. These all come into our plants, or the organic materials, dead animals, you name it. That's what comes in my back door at each of my plants. 300 million pounds a year. I can't get it all out. I wish I could. I can't turn it back into a new resource. So energy is something to look at. Now, the issue with building a big waste-to-energy plant, and Europe is wrestling with this right now. In fact, I met with the head of the equivalent of their EPA, last year, Potechnik. I met in his office on a one-to-one on the problem with recycling versus incineration. He's trying to now back off of incineration in Europe. Europe has pushed incineration for years. And the reason is because once you build a massive incineration plant, economies of scale, you need it to make the numbers work. So that all makes sense. You have to feed it. You can't not feed it. And the problem with that is we're moving the needle. We're recycling this stuff now, but once you start that sucking sound at an incineration plant, we can't get our hand on those resources anymore economically. That's Excellent. The problem.
Thank you.
So let me just, in fact, I'm speaking on this tomorrow in San Jose, which is why I can't be with you this evening. I'm speaking on this very topic, on the tension between recycling and fuel, or waste to fuel. So let me put it in that sense. So there are technologies that are being developed that will turn smaller quantities of waste into fuel products or chemicals for reuse in the supply chain, much like you've talked about with the bio. So a technical nutrient cycle for making chemicals again. I'm more encouraged by those because you don't have this big massive thing that you have to keep feeding, and you can tune it to the size of your byproduct stream that you haven't yet figured out how to recycle. So that's just my, it's much more complicated than all that, but.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. What a fantastic discussion that was.